When your party leader can't handle a simple interview and your wannabe leader blurts out that he doesn't want to live somewhere because he didn't see another white face, you kind of know the Conservative Party is in a lot more trouble than they realise. I must admit, I did feel a little sorry for Kemi here. At the start, no, don't worry, I've not been kicked in the head, but this line of questioning was quite pathetic, and I would have said the same if it was the Lib Dems or Labour. She wanted a gotcha moment, that was clear, but she could have pulled her up on policy. Instead, it was just, when are you going to quit?
Kemi Badenoch, in the 11 months since you've become party leader, the Conservatives have dropped in the polls from 26% to 17%. You've lost 700 council seats, 16 councils, 18 senior Tories have defected. Your personal poll ratings are at -47. It's worse than Ian Duncan Smith at his lowest ebb. It's worse than when Boris Johnson resigned. And in a poll this week, for us, Tory members say Jenrick should lead the party over you. How does that make you feel?
Well, I remember during the leadership contest, there was another poll that said Rob was going to win and I won. So I don't let these things distract me. This is the direction of travel.
Before it gets better, how long have you given yourself to turn this around?
So I was elected to change the party. That is what I'm doing. And I told people we weren't going to rush out with announcements.
When's it going to get better?
We would make sure that we had things that people could see very clearly were Conservative.
When's it going to get better?
That's what the Stronger Borders, Stronger Economy is about.
However, this is the bit where it starts to unravel. Rather than pushing her on actual policy contradictions, like the ECHR exit, immigration numbers, the works, Beth just then starts down this resignation soundbite. And you can see it clearly rattled her. Instead of pushing back and turning it around to make Beth Rigby look foolish, she actually just starts snapping.
You were asked if you'd resign if the party goes backwards in next year's elections. You said, when you were asked that, you said, ask me that after the elections. Why did you say that?
Because let's see what the election result is about. We're spending a lot of time talking about election results. We're not talking about what's happening to people out there.
Well, that means you're not ruling it out. If I say to you, will you resign if the party goes backwards in the May local elections, and you say, ask me that after the elections, that means the answer could be yes. No, and that's why I'm asking you, just to be clear.
The reason why I'm saying that is because I don't think that's what your viewers care about. Your viewers want to know how their lives are going to be better. The inside baseball Westminster bubble politics of who's up, who's down.
Backwards at the next elections, do you think for the sake of the party's survival that you should stand down?
Beth, I think you just asked that question. What I'm here to do at my conference is not talk about where I'm going in May or what's happening. It's about the stronger economy that we're going to deliver.
Half of your members don't think you're the right person to lead them into the next election.
I simply don't believe that. That's not what's happening at the conference. That's what people told me, that I wasn't going to win the leadership contest, and I did win.
And by the end, she was bristling, defensive and visibly cross. When the leader looks disunsettled, voters don't see strength. It's just clear weakness. When she's put under pressure, she can't maintain her cool. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this was Beth Rigby's plan all along.
I'm not interested in doing pacts. I was not elected to have a pact with reform. I was elected to change the Conservative Party, make it clear what we stand for, and that's what I've done.
Robert Jenrick hasn't ruled it out. Rather, he said it's not a priority. Isn't that a sensible approach?
It is important that people know what we stand for. Robert Jenrick is not the leader of the Conservative Party, neither is Andrew Rossendale. I am.
Okay, so they're wrong and you're right.
I am saying that I'm the leader of the party and we are not having a coalition.
They're wrong and you're right.
I think that's pretty obvious, Beth, what I've been saying.
Do you admire Nigel Farage as a politician?
On what basis?
Do you admire him?
I don't understand your question.
Well, it's just an open question. What do you think of him?
Why aren't you asking if I admire Keir Starmer or Ed Davey?
Well, I asked Keir Starmer about whether he admired Nigel Farage as well.
And I think it's very interesting that a lot of the media in Westminster is very interested about asking about Nigel Farage. I'm not interested in Nigel Farage. I'm interested in
all
the
other
Conservative
parties
Party.
They're not interested in you. You weren't even name-checked in their
Yes, because of course, because they would rather be fighting him.
Do you admire him? What do you think of him?
I'm not interested in talking about Nigel Farage.
In him.
You tell me that people aren't interested in me. I'm on your show. Ask me about what I think. You spent most of the interview asking about reform.
Then we get to Robert Jenrick, the man Tory members think should replace her. He insists it's not about race, before making it entirely about race.
The other thing that I noticed there was that it was one of the worst integrated places that I've ever been to. In fact, in the hour and a half that I was filming with news there, I didn't see another white face. And that's not the kind of country I want to live in. I want to live in a country where people are properly integrated. It's not about the colour of your skin or your faith. Of course it isn't. But I want people to be living alongside each other, not parallel lives.
That's you talking about Handsworth as if you went there to film a video. Just expand a little more on what you're saying there in that audio, Robert.
Well, look, I don't resile from those comments. I want to live in a country which is well integrated. I want people to be living side by side. I never want to see segregated or even ghettoised communities. To be living in harmonious, well integrated communities with our kids growing up alongside each other. And I'm afraid in some parts of the country, there are communities where that just isn't the case. And parts of Handsworth in Birmingham, where I was earlier the year, a place I know quite well growing up in the West Midlands, just don't resemble that. And that makes me very worried.
He judges an entire community after spending just 90 minutes there. It's like declaring a town un-British because he didn't spot a Greggs. That's the level of political analysis we're dealing with. Even the journalist spelled out. He reduced integration to skin colour. And when accused of fueling the far right, Jenrick doubles down and blames journalists. I mean, this is just classic Tory, isn't it? Say something racist, then claim it's the journalists who are fueling extremists by pointing it out.
I do wonder what integrated means for you, and I wonder how you can judge that a person is integrated by the colour of their skin, being there for 90 minutes.
Well, look, I was very clear that it's not about the colour of your skin or the faith.
You didn't see any white faces, and that's what made you feel like it wasn't integrated.
The point that I was making is we want all people to be living side by side. We can't have particular communities in this country where there's a heavy preponderance of one group or another.
Robert Jenrick, you know that kind of language, I mean, you said you're putting your head above the parapet, but you'll know that kind of language does give support for groups on the far right that don't want to see brown and black people living in this country.
Not.
You know that, don't you?
I tell you, no, I think that's an absolutely disgraceful and ridiculous comment. I tell you what gives rise to extremist views. With all due respect, it's journalists like yourself trying to shut down.
What did I do wrong?
Legitimate
I'm not shutting you down, Robert. We've been talking about it for at least 5 minutes.
It is, because what you are implying is that you can't say comments like that. And if we live in a country where politicians or members of the public cannot debate whether there is due integration or not, then that does give fuel for extremists.
So here's the Conservative Party on full display. The leader floundering under basic questions, the wannabe leader exposing himself as a massive racist, and both of them trying to convince you they are the future of Britain. Or should that be Britian? Well, to see what that's about, you'll need to watch the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.